been driving for the last 5.5 hours.
Oh, and it's so
very pretty. Very pretty.
Oh my god.
So we've escaped the studio.
We have.
I must admit, this is very nice driving round here. Proper driving country, this is.
It is. Oh, look. Just look how beautiful it is.
Very, very pretty. We've even had some low-flying aircraft here, better.
Yeah.
We could do with a few more.
It is.
So yes, very, very pretty. Oh, look out. Oh, someone's not taking in the view properly. Well, that's good, mate. You're overtaking on no overtaking. Oh my god. Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Okay. So anyway, today we're up here to go and see the Coast Guard. Nick has very kindly invited us up to play with his helicopter. So, you know, alright, it's taken us forever to get there.
The situation has changed.
Oh, apparently.
Route has been calculated.
Sorry, sat nav. But yeah, so we're up here for a little bit of an afternoon playing with a, was it the S-92? Sikorsky Coast Guard helicopter. So yeah, so this is it. And look at that, isn't that beautiful scenery? I'll keep my eyes on the road.
Yeah. That's probably best.
Yes.
You know, health and safety and all that.
Health and safety. There's a lot of sheep up here as well.
There is a hell of a lot of sheep.
But yes, so anyway, we'll get back to you.
Yes.
And when we get there.
My background is originally I did university. I've always wanted to fly as a little kid. Mum and Dad took me to the Swiss Alps and we saw the mountain rescue helicopters and all. So I was like, okay, that's what I want to do. So then finished high school and I was like, okay, I want to get a degree just in case anything happens, you know. So I went to uni. Did that for 2.5 years and I go, okay, I'm bored now.
Yeah.
The books were still in plastic. I didn't bother going to exams and then I saw it. So that was February 2011. Went over to the States, had a look around at the flight school that I wanted to do, and then signed up straight at the spot. Started September 2011. Did 11 months of my EASA flight license, it's a European license.
Yeah.
Then did following 6 months to convert everything to the American license, get my flight instructor rating. And then did 12 months of teaching at the Flight Academy. So that was then March 2014. Got back here, got my instrument rating done in Gloucester. That took 4 weeks. It was very expensive. But anyway, the whole package was very expensive, ridiculous. And then because of the flight school I was with, which was Bristow Academy, which happens to have the same name, which is actually part of that. I met the right people and made the right impression. They said, well, when you're back in Europe, give us a ring. So I did. Was invited to Aberdeen for an interview, and straight away they offered me, they said, do you want to do oil and gas, or are you interested in SAR? So well, SAR any day. And I said, well, okay. That was on a Friday. Sorry, on a Thursday. Got home back in Holland, because I still stayed with Mum and Dad, because I didn't have an address anyway. On the Friday, got a call, said you can start on Monday. I was like, right, okay. So that's how I got the position. Then I did 6 months of oil and gas up in Shetland, just to get type experience, because I had zero multi-engine experience. And I said, okay. And then I did 2.5 years. 2.5? Yeah, 2.5 years in Shetland SAR. Yeah. And then started here beginning of this last month.
Fantastic.
So I've done 3 shifts here so far. I spent more time in Norway than here, because we did a simulator. Every 6 months we do a week of simulators flying, just to get all the procedures and all. So that's how I ended up here. So I am when I started, I think I still am, I was the youngest SAR pilot within the UK.
I was going to say, because when you first said about it, I was like, I've never known. Worldwide. Yeah, that's right. I don't know anybody at your age.
Younger, but civilian.
Yeah, that's right.
First thing I said when we pulled up, I was like, he's young.
Yes.
Because you're 28, aren't you?
I am.
Yeah, that's it.
So I was like, he's young, and he was like, yeah, and I was like,
Because that is the thing. You have got that stereotypical, when you're thinking civilian side of this, you think they've gone military, come out of the military into this operational.
Yeah.
So then you're always expecting to find the 45-year-old guy who's ex-military and then...
It's funny because, especially in Sombra, here it's a little bit less because a lot of the guys trained in Valley for the last few years and then jumped ship straight across.
Yeah.
A lot of my colleagues in Sombra, some of them left the Navy or they left before I was born.
Yeah.
So they're all like ready for retirement.
Yeah.
And here I am like, hello. And especially here, it's only 3 years difference with one of the rear crew guys. But in Sombra, the next colleague I had, the youngest, was 12 years older than me.
Yeah, that's it.
Most pilots are like ready for retirement. They come up that mid-40s and then over.
That's it. Crazy.
It's quite interesting to work with because you're like, come on, and especially when you're talking like iPads and computers.
That's right.
Guys.
Yeah, that's it.
Well, they're my issue.
Yeah, that's it. I know.
So so that's how I got into this. On the left-hand side, you've got the notice board, some safety items and all that, hot topics and the likes. General notice board is on the other side.
Yeah.
And then you've got the ready racks, where normally the suits will be hanging, but since we're now wearing them, it's a bit empty in here.
Yeah.
And then we stash our helmets in the corner. And then what we use mostly are these 3 screens there. We've got these computers as well, which we use for mostly printing out weather and performance and the likes. But those screens are up all the time. So on the left-hand side, you're probably familiar with the NOTAMs.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that we've got there. It's a navigation software called Airbox Panda, which we use on iPads as well. I don't know if there's anyone laying around at the moment, but I'll show them when you come back. It's exactly the same as what we have there. We can do routes on it, different maps, vessel overlays, all kinds of things we can get on there, but also NOTAMs. That's why we use it.
Right.
Center screen is the weather. From the Met Office, we get a detailed weather package specialized for what we do.
Right.
And then on the right-hand side, unfortunately, there's nothing going on at the moment. It's what's called SARCall. Basically, all the local-ish, quite a big radius, mountain rescue teams and all that, they're listed on here.
Right.
When they get a job, this then turns orange. We can literally follow along what's going on.
Got you.
We kind of see when they're about to go and ask for us. Okay, let's get ready.
Yeah, okay.
So this one is closed. So what it starts off with is, for instance, this one received a text message, the person is stuck, where it is, location, time, etc. And then it goes through what they've done, and then every update to it is get put out.
Yeah.
And at some point it says, right, SAR helicopter requested, and then so we go, okay, fine. And then it takes about 4 or 5 minutes still before we actually get the call, but at least we can see it. So that's all on here. Tons of documents, ops manuals. I should know most of them. I do know most of them, but a lot of these documents is like nowhere to find it. Of special interest to us are these ones, which are the operation manual and what we can fly legally and all that. And then these are the aircraft manuals, how to actually fly it. But other than that, it's a lot of, these nav templates for offshore vessels and and rigs and all that. So lots of things to do in a 24-hour shift anyway.
Fantastic.
Yeah. Then behind this window is the mecca of what we do. So the other one is still there.
Yeah.
We'll go up there shortly. And then here is a map of the local areas, similar to the one you saw up front, except this one doesn't. This has different stickers on it, which indicates hospital, landing sites, where the mountain rescue teams are located, for instance.
Yeah.
So then very quickly, if we get a job and it gives a position, we can figure out what the distance is for easy fuel calculations and all that. See if we want to put X-ray in or remove fuel and all that.
Got you. Very good. So what's your area? How far do you go?
Primarily Snowdon, or Snowdonia, sorry.
Yeah.
And this is the Clemgorns, whatever it's pronounced.
Yeah.
I'm not really good with the Welsh language.
That's what we were saying when we were driving up. People ever say to us, "Where'd you go?" in like Wales, and they're like, "Whereabouts?" I don't know. I can't pronounce it.
So I was like, Carnarvon, right? Okay. And then how do you spell it? I don't know. So pretty much all the way, down here, south of Wales, pretty much whole of Wales.
Yeah.
And we go into the Lake District quite really often. We very occasional we get a job to take especially young kids to London for special treatment. We go to Stoke, is that Stoke? Manchester, so we go there quite often. Pretty much what you can see on this map is where we go. We've got roughly 150-mile radius of operation, and then out to the coast, Ireland occasional, the Irish Sea quite a lot. The crew room, lots of rooms in here. Crew room is in here. I'm not sure what it's in Welsh, but apparently it's the same. So we've got our TV, Xbox.
Oh, nice.
I don't know what games they've got on it. I brought mine in this morning just for updating because the internet's so slow. Xbox, I'm not doing this.
So bring it in here. Yeah.
So this is where we, especially at night, we watch a movie with the guys, or just watch them. A lot of the guys here are massively into cycling.
Right.
So that's why the Tour of Italy, I think it is.
Right.
At the moment. So as you can see, there's 6 seats for everything. So we've got 4 crew members, 2 pilots, winch shop, winchman, and then there's 2 engineers on shift at all times.
Right, got you.
Yeah. And then on the other side behind you is the kitchen. And if you guys want a cup of coffee or tea or anything, just give a shout. And it still says Sombra on it.
Right, yeah.
It disappears a lot of the times. That's something because it's got the wrong name on it or not, I'm not too sure. But a lot of the times I find it in one of the cupboards.
Yeah.
So these are all the guys that work in. A few women. We've got 1 female pilot, and then we've got a female admin lady.
Yeah.
Star Wars, so they're doing something right.
there is some interesting stuff around here. Yeah. There is.
Star Wars.
So yeah, this is where we get dinner. 6 o'clock. Get dinner delivered, and then we have dinner here.
You have a shout then at normally 15 past, quarter past, is it? Just in the middle of dinner is always the way.
I'm still waiting for my first shout here. Apparently I'm the deterrent or whatever they call it.
Oh, that's it.
Yeah. So yeah, food is at 6, and then, like I said, we do watch a movie afterwards, or just whatever we want. A lot of the time we've got, we do all have secondary duties, which include like updating paperwork on the aircraft, documents, checks, all kinds of things.
Yeah.
So we're quite busy with things we're not flying. Then on the other side of the doors, we've got locker room. We'll go through the pantry first.
After you.
A lot of the guys keep food.
Right.
Because we make our own breakfast. So everybody here has a box with just whatever food you want in it. I'm still finding out why everybody's so full in their mind. It's like Twix. Nutella in it. That's mine.
Yeah, that's it. Everyone has all the healthy stuff. That's it.
And then here are all the lockers for the guys. We've got bathrooms and a laundry room, so here. And then everybody has their own locker on back here. So what we normally wear is either a cotton flight suit or one of these things.
Or the immersion one,
which are the waterproof. I'm used to living in these. Like Shetland, that's what we did. Every time I put it on here, the guys are like, we're going in the mountains. So I know, but this is what I'm used to. So they go, alright, okay, fine. But they are really hot, so in summer you might want to start changing. Okay, so at the moment, the problem with the advantage of this one is that we've got all the Velcro on it, so we can stick the iPad and all the pens and all, which my other suit doesn't have. So I need to do a little bit of DIY to figure that one out. And then just some rubbish in here. Again, mine is very empty. Some of the guys are like, open the door.
Lived in it, that's it,
what I'll do is we'll go upstairs. I'll show you the rooms and all that, and then we'll pop into the hangar and I'll show you around there. Scare someone.
That's it. Definitely like that.
So we left him. So this is where we do a lot of the medical training, especially for the guys. We've got storage of items, so we've got plenty of towels and drugs and blankets. This is actually what's nice that it's open. This is what the FRB, the first response back, FRB. It's quite convoluted, massive piece of kit, but there's tons of equipment in here. So in here we've got all kinds of intubation and breathing supplies. Actually, I was doing this yesterday. It's not as easy. It took 3 times to get it right. But
Yeah.
then the guy was pretty dead, but anyway. All kinds of adrenaline, drugs and all that we use. Then we've got, this is where the actual drugs are kept in, but obviously because it's training there's nothing in here.
Yeah.
Some first aid bandages and whatnot. And then blood,
It's very heavy, I
oxygen.
imagine.
Yeah, I was going to say, but it weighs a ton.
It's
Yeah.
about 20-25 pounds.
Mhm.
Wow.
Yeah.
And they just go with it down the mountain slope or on the wire and all that. It's like, so that's what they carry with them. And then we also have these big Berghaus backpacks, which is our survival, mountain survival kit. We've got thermal underwear, sleeping bag, all those kinds of things are in there. Again, mine is very empty compared to everyone else. I'm doing something wrong. I'm trying to figure it out.
It just takes time.
Yeah, that's it.
And then on the end of the hallway, we've got some another 4 bedrooms and then another about 2 bathrooms with a shower.
Yeah.
We call these roof showers.
A waterfall
German-
shower.
yes.
Like rain, well,
Yeah.
rain
fancy,
head,
but
very
it's not well
fancy.
flashy behind it,
Yeah.
so it's
Yeah.
not
I
great.
used to have one. I had a brand new apartment. It was just the architecture was stunning, but it was.
Yeah.
It
we
was
have
so
it.
good.
I have a shower at home as well, like the one above, and then also the usual.
Hmm.
But it's got so much pressure on it.
Yeah.
It's actually
Yeah, that's what you want.
Yeah.
Decent pressure, isn't
Yeah.
it? You need it.
Yeah.
So this is where we stay at night.
Mhm.
And then on the other side, there's one office downstairs which is interesting, but unfortunately I'm not allowed to show. It's the MVG cupboard where we keep all the night vision goggles.
Yeah.
Unfortunately we can't. And there's this training room, so like a big conference room kind of thing. We've got the engineer's locker room, and then it's the only locked door for some bizarre reason.
Yeah,
That's
look.
where we do our pre
That's cool.
shift training,
That's really cool.
ping pong and table tennis and all that.
Yeah.
So you see a lot of guys into cycling.
Yeah.
Me myself, not so much. Cycling here is different than it was back in Holland.
Yeah.
Because I would just cycle along and go through red light and go.
Yeah.
Here, not so much.
No.
If you try the red light, they just run you over. So I'm not used to that. And then from here, you've got quite a nice view.
Lovely view up here. Yeah.
Yeah, it's very cute.
It's a nice shot of it, actually. Don't normally see it from that angle.
No, not a lot. No, nor do I. But it's only when you get really close to them that you actually get a feeling of the size of it.
Yeah.
Because from up here, you're like, yeah, okay, it's a nice, cute little helicopter, but it's not really.
So the 92 is really just a derivative of the 60. As in,
Yeah, so especially if you look from the side.
it has that same engine
well,
configuration, but it's higher and
What
bigger.
it is, what they've done is it is actually exactly the 60.
Mhm.
So anything above
Yeah.
the main cabin
Mhm.
is exactly the same. The same
Yeah.
with the tail structure.
Hmm.
And they've just copied that different cabin underneath it.
Yeah.
So, okay, we've got a new aircraft, guys. Well done.
Hmm.
Um,
Well, I suppose the biggest difference is it doesn't have to go in the back of transport aircraft and things, so
Yeah.
it can have the height, which gives you
Exactly,
a lot
yeah.
nicer.
But also the advantage of it is that it's a tested system,
Hmm.
and it works. Whereas the one at 9, which is okay, it's Italian, that doesn't help. But it's a brand new aircraft, and constantly they're finding things that are like, well, why does it do this or why doesn't it do that? So
Yeah.
it's like, okay, back to the factory.
Hmm.
So it's really nice. It's a tested machine. It works. It's sturdy. It's loud,
Mhm.
but it does a really good job.
That's right. So what's the duration of it? What's up? So you're saying about 150
So-
nautical miles? What
Yeah,
time
that's
on
our
station
range.
type thing?
So normally we've got the sponsons on the side.
Mhm.
Each one holds 2,500 gallons.
Yeah.
And then inside we've got another 900 gallons, pounds.
Hmm.
Inside we've got another 900 pound fuel tank. It burns 1,400 pounds an hour,
Mhm.
about 800 liters an hour.
Yeah.
To give you an idea of how environmental friendly we are. So we can last for about 4 hours in total once,
Yeah.
if it's completely filled up, which is reasonable time, about 3.5, 4 hours.
So do you always go with full fuel?
No,
Or you
here
just-
we've got, for winter time, they've got £3,500 in it. Summer they do 2,500 because they tend to go up to the mountains.
Need for the height, yeah.
The disadvantage of this machine is that it's very heavy.
Yeah.
So you need quite a bit of performance. You only get performance when there's wind. So it struggles a bit when it's wind still performance-wise. So that's the only disadvantage of it, I guess. But we can walk down here and have a closer look. What I'll do is I'll show around in peace and quiet first, and then I'll put the power on.
Yeah, no, that's
So I
fine.
have to wear headsets because our communication is not very nice.
Yeah.
And then I'll show you around with all the bits and bobs turned on.
No, it'd be fantastic. All right. Right.
Questions so far?
No, we're all good. Doing a fantastic job.
Still finding my own way around here.
Yeah, that's it.
The hangar they had in Shetland, that was like an old hangar from the 80s, so it's nothing like this.
Yeah.
Like I said, this is all purpose built, so it's very useful. Through the window you can see the air ambulance, which is in the hangar next door.
Right.
They only fly in VMC, good weather. Well, today they fly as well, but as long as it's good. Where we've got the exception that we can fly in any weather as long as we deem it safe enough for the job. So we can do literally a zero visibility takeoff. Training limits, for instance, are 300-foot cloud base and a 1 kilometer visibility.
Got you. Yeah.
Which is very, very little. So you can see the front door is what replaced the Sea King cargo door. That's where we
Which
do
is
all
still really big. It's
still a
not. I
big
wouldn't
door.
have said there's probably much in it, but
No, but apparently the cargo door was another third or half a bit longer or something.
yeah.
For the stretcher, and I'll show you close up. Go ahead. Stretcher, we have to, in order to get it in, you have to push, get one side in, then twist it halfway, and then get the other half in.
Got you.
Especially because when they're hanging here, so you've got the stretcher sticks up to about here, so now you have to kind of like push or rotate backwards and then get it in. So it's, when I sit in the front and the guys are doing it in the back, because we can see the camera, you see them faffing around
Trying to get it in.
and
Yeah.
like, oh, guys. So then that's why we take in the front. We take control of the hoist, so we can winch in and out because they're both pulling.
Pulling in, yeah, hands free. Yeah.
Right, let's say, well, come on in. I've done that before.
Yeah, that's it.
Good job, work out.
Yeah, so this is the inside. This is where the rig is. So you've got the winchman will be sitting there, the winch operator is sitting here. He also controls the mapping system and the infrared, the flow camera is mounted on the front.
Yeah.
I should have done a walk around the outside first, but we'll get to it.
Yeah.
And then, much like a console controller, you've got the flow
that's
camera
it.
up top, and then the bottom one is for the searchlight, which is on the side. And he's got tons of radios and everything. So he tends to be in communication with the Coastguard, with the UK Rescue Control Centre, which is down in... Where have they moved it to? It's down south somewhere. Used to be in Kinloss, but they've moved it. So they tend to take care of that.
It's a lot shorter than I thought it would be in here.
Shorter?
Sure.
Yeah,
I actually,
having
spent some time in helicopters, as you know,
This is
actually,
big.
I thought this is big.
Oh, right, okay. Well, it's just because from the outside, I guess because from the outside it's so big
Yeah.
that you expect. I don't know what you expect. You expect it. This is the first time I've been in a helicopter.
To give an
so-
idea, well, I'll show you outside. The helicopter I used to fly during my training, the top of the helicopter to the ground was less than the diameter of the tail rod on this.
Yeah.
So it gives you an idea of how big this thing is. I think the only aircraft that is bigger that is known in the UK is the Chinook. Other than that, you've got the Russians, the Mi-26, massive one.
Yeah.
But this is one of the bigger ones.
But no, compared to a Sea King, because the Sea King's got the area in the middle as well for the bat stations more further
They've
back,
got
and
all
it
bits.
juts out. You've got a tiny little thing to get down the side as well, and then into the rear. This is a lot more
actually quite
open and
large,
airy.
So this is the internal tank I mentioned earlier, and then we've got the stretchers. The top one is is what we call a Tyramon stretcher. It's used in the Alps a lot, and we tend to use it here in the mountains as well. It allows us to package the patient quite nicely and keep them warm.
Yeah.
It's not really nice when you're claustrophobic. We did a training over summer and I was the victim, as in they packed me up in it. It's not nice when they just pack you in and then walk off.
Yeah.
Nothing
You can't move. Yeah, you're wedged in.
Hello.
Yeah.
So that's and then the bottom one is used for when we do any jobs over water, because it's got the floats on it, so in case of, then people will stay afloat.
Yeah.
At least that's what we've been told. Underneath it you've got a bit of storage, so we've got smokes are in, we've got some food and water in case of, some other medical equipment that I don't know what it's for. To be fair, anything behind that curtain is like
their domain.
It's like magic to me.
Yeah.
There's all, which is our CPR monitors, heart rate monitor and all that. They can do 12 lead scans and everything with that. It's a really nice piece of kit. Again, all I know is how to turn on, how to shock someone if I'm told to. That's all I need to know.
That's it, yeah.
Quite happy with that. And then we've got the foldable seats. You just fold out, and that's why we sit people down in case they come on and don't have to go on a stretcher. Also, in case we've got a mountain rescue team on, everybody needs a seat, so there you go. And then back here we've got some more equipment. All of it is medical equipment aside from the headsets that are kept in there. They've got what we call a high line. So if there's like a small vessel or on the cliff on the mountainside, we deploy the high line so that anyone on the ground can basically drag
him in.
Drag in the winchman. And then these are the strops.
That you will horse collar.
Yes. Double the diamond. So this would be attached to the hook at the top. So you literally have this underneath your arms, and then you just pull that down, and that's it. The rear crew have there's a harness on there on the stretcher. Yeah. That's what they wear. It's like a climbing harness, so they can have their hands free to do things. Whereas if you're in here, you want to keep your hands next to your body, because if you don't,
that's it. You slip through.
You can start over again. So that's where we keep these, and then there's two in the other seat as well. So we've got quite a few of them. And then that's the so it's a slightly different first aid bag we have here. I think that's the old one, because we recently lost one on the job on the mountain slope, which it happens. There's nothing we can do about it. We do our best to keep things as packed as we can, but sometimes in a rush and all that. And then these are what we call the monkey harness. It's literally for the guys to stop them from falling out the door when the door is open. And it's a weird feeling if you're alongside a boat or a mountain, and you literally, because the guys are standing here, door is open, it's all noisy and windy. And
and you just hang out. That's it.
Initially I was sitting on that seat a few times where you go along for like training flights, you sit back. And you sit at the seat and go very gently,
that's it, just peer a little bit.
Like, do you want to put on the harness so you can have a proper look? Okay then. Standing here and they're like, oh come on, come closer.
I figure it's going to be that joke where they just kind of push you out.
Well yeah, they do, and they grab you in the back. Primarily redundancy, that's all it is for. I think it was 97 when they lost a winchman because the hoist broke down and they couldn't get him off, and he just washed off.
Right.
So then they were right, okay, we need two of these. So
which is practical, So what's the loading on that capacity?
We can do a maximum of 600 pounds, but in case of an emergency we can double that.
Right.
So, but then after it's written off, but if we need to we can. So it tends to be about 2 people we lift at once, sometimes 3. That's the control for it. There's a spare one in here, and if we need to cut the cable, there is a mechanism in there that we can cut. That
I take it you have one up the front as well
the
for that
shear
as well.
there, and
Yeah,
we've
you've got one on
them
the
there. But if that doesn't work, now we've got the proper.
Yeah.
Well, it's not an axe.
Mhm.
It's a cutter. It's like a bit of a beefed up. What do you call it? Tree cutter.
Like pruner, one, yeah,
exactly,
yeah.
yeah. Sometimes my English words are like, I know it in Dutch. And then that's the console I showed.
Mhm.
Then if you want to, you can sit in the front, and I'll show you. And then I'll put the power on.
Yeah.
And I'll show you whatever system is. I'll explain it first in nice and quiet.
Mhm.
Because the thing is, it's not actually the aircraft that's very loud in the front. It's all the cooling fans.
Yeah, that's right.
And it's really loud.
Yeah.
So feel free to jump in. Helicopters, the commander sits in the right, co-pilot in the left.
Lots of buttons.
So you choose. Easiest is right in front of you. There's a handle.
Right.
So you've got one in the left in your 11 o'clock. Says handhold on it.
Yeah.
So you can hold that. There's another one right above your right shoulder. You can step on the chair and the seat if you want.
I'm small, so it's okay for me.
It's all the people that struggle with
That's it. Which is me.
It's like you.
Hold on.
You
Can you
step
grab
on the
that
seat,
bit?
You can step on the seat.
That's it. If you just hold that one.
We tend to do it.
This is funny, I'm recording this.
I don't like to step on people's seats.
Oh, well, that's why we wear the seat. So this is my office. Unfortunately, I'm not able to what do you call it? Live stream from these bits when I'm out on the job.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no.
Sometimes I do take a photo every once in a while.
Yeah.
But they're not very keen on posting because apparently what they say is everything that we record inside the aircraft or around the aircraft belongs to the MCA, so we need to get approval from them.
Right,
to
okay.
post it.
Yeah.
Okay, whatever. So they go, oh, don't post it on Facebook or this and that without permission. It's like, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
whatever.
Facebook's the killer, that's
Yeah.
what it is, yeah.
So most of my photos are literally of like the skyline of the sunset.
Yeah.
Like, cool.
Yeah.
So this is where I do my where I make my money. So we'll start. Basically, I'll start at the top and work our way down, hopefully logical order.
Yep.
So all these are circuit breakers. There's tons of them. Behind each pilot, there's another board full of circuit breakers. So the electrical systems, in case there is a problem with it, they tend to just pop out if there's like an overload or a breakdown in electricity, and then we go, all right, okay. Most of the time it's the engineers that fix it, and we go, oh, that's gone out. Like,
Yeah.
all right, okay, fine, and they have a look at it. Tends to be our job. We break it, they fix it. That's
That's
the
it,
general
yeah.
gist of it. So then that's in this panel. On the left hand side you've got all the lights, most of the light switches. So these are all for the lights, for the outdoor exterior lights. We've got the searchlight, which you might be able to see on the left hand side on the outside. It's just behind you on the outside of the aircraft. I'll point it out when we walk around. That's a switch here, so we in the front we have to what we call arm it, and then they can use it in the back. So
Got it.
we've got control over it. Further down is all the anti-icing systems. This aircraft is fully icing cleared, so we've got inlet heaters. The rotor blades have all got electrical elements to remove ice. And center console, this is all the cockpit lights, so at night we can give everything a nice green glow. Trying to get that done in my scaled down version of it, well, but I don't know yet how.
Right.
The problem is I want to get all the writing, but in order to get it then also lit up, I either have to cut everything out or laser cut it, or have like a white decal.
Yeah.
Don't know yet, I'll figure something out.
Yeah.
Plenty of time. So that's all these are for, and they're all intensity controls, so we can change them. Then we've got the power panel here for the AC and DC powers. Generators are there, batteries and all that, so I'll use that a little bit later once it's hooked up. And then some miscellaneous systems, the vibrator control. Because helicopters shake so much, we've got what they call the vibrator control system. What it does, it creates the exact same vibration but mirrors it, so it cancels each other out. At least that's the idea of it.
Does it work?
Reasonable. It still shakes a hell of a lot. And then you've got the rescue hoist control. Funny enough, it's not actually hoist control. What this does is we have to switch it to on anyway, so it's either all or cockpit. what that refers to is the capability of cutting the wire.
Got ya.
So we always select it to all so that the guy in the back can do it as well.
Mm-hmm.
But for some reason they said, well, maybe the cockpit only wants to do it. I was like, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Moving to the right, we've got the fire extinguishers, which is that switch there in case of. It goes in combination with the 3 red ones you see up front.
Yeah.
And then these are the fuel, ignition and prime pumps. Throttle quadrant. Wire levers, I don't know. It's all electronically controlled anyway, so
it's old school.
you
I
put
suppose.
it, yeah, exactly. A lot of this also, especially when I turn the screens on, you'll see round dials. And you're like, why?
In the modern,
So of course you get asked the guys that flew in Vietnam and all that, what would you like? Oh, round dials. Okay, well, there you go.
Yeah.
So these ones, it's quite funny because we put it to idle, engines light up, and then we gently bring it forward. Doesn't do a lot until you get to the front and goes whoop, and spins up. I'm like, okay, computer has it.
Yeah.
Great. So actually, you can just go move back and forth, and there's nothing.
Nothing there. Right. Go. Yeah.
This panel here is primarily a test panel, so we can do a fire detector test, and it shows you fire engine 1 and all that. We can do a lamp test, and I'll show you around a little bit. We've got a few gearbox oil override switch or bypass switch. A lot of the fault systems that may come up lead to the pump going into standby, so it's no longer cooling the oil, which can relate to more problems.
Yeah.
So we can bypass it, and it came about after they had some problems years and years and years ago. And so right, okay, we need a switch for that, so that's where that came from. And then we've got some hydraulics switches up there. All this is hydraulic operated. It requires about 6,000 psi to move once we're in flight to move the controls. We can do it with the power off as long as the hydraulics are still there. So you've got a boost pump. When that's not working, it's very heavy, but you can do it. Once the actual hydraulics run out of oil, okay, you're done. And then on your side, we've got a few more lights, seatbelt and no smoking signs, which I don't even think they're fitted. Actually, they are. We never used them though.
Yeah, that's right.
I did in the oil and gas. It was like no smoking, seatbelt lights on, and you look behind you and they're all like. Then we've got the ECS or environmental control system. Basically, it allows us to cool the air or heat it up. Cooling only to exterior temperature, because they were like, right, we'll do some weight saving. We'll take out the AC unit. Thanks, guys.
Lovely in the summer.
Here, not too bad, but a lot of the guys down in Brunei, they're complaining it's really hot in here. It's like, yeah, well. And then the bottom panel is your flotation system and the life rafts. So in case we do ditching in water, we can pop out floats, which is on the
here as well,
underneath that switch. And then we've got one on either side of the window, and 2 on the side sponsors, and 1 under the tail. And hopefully that will keep us afloat. At least for a little bit, so we can get out. Guaranteed? I don't know. And then also the life rafts, which are in the front of the sponsor, and there's one that can pop them out. Moving the way down, we've got, as I said, the fire control panel. So in case there is signs of a fire, then we can turn these switches. So you flip them up and push the button, and that will then cut off the fuel to that particular engine, but also prime the fire extinguishers. So we have to push that button first in order to then switch to top 1 to get that out. A couple of standby instruments, a bare minimum. I did it recently in a sim 2 weeks ago. Flying on that is an absolute nightmare. Can't recommend it.
No.
And then on either side, you've got the 6 push buttons, which are the warning lights. So you've got the fire warning lights, low rotor, the master caution, which is in the center of it. So there's that one. And then that lights up in case there's a fire, or if any master caution comes on, that thing lights up. We push it, it then turns it off. Still remains on the screen. You'll see when I start up, there's tons of them that come up. But then it goes from outlined yellow to just a yellow lettering. So, okay. Then on the sides of small screens is a TCAS, traffic collision and avoidance system. Which is really useful, especially here with all the jets at low level flying past. So they show up on the screens, and we've got an idea where they are. Right, we've got the main panels. I'll show them once we put some power on. It's this panel here and the unit in the back that I'll turn the camera on, which is then fine. but the mapping system is America's property. Ooh,
Right, yeah.
Can't show.
Yeah.
Again, I can show, but then the cameras have to go off, so I'll do
Yeah.
that at the end. So you've got all the main screens there. These ones are the autopilot control panels, or the mode selector. So we can tell the aircraft to come to a hover for us, fly to a particular point for us, but also very basic like speed and height hold, heading hold, those kind of things. Then the radio panels are here. All the frequencies we use, we've got on either side.
Yeah, I was just looking at those.
On the little boards, the clipboards.
Yeah.
So they're all pre-programmed, which is quite nice. I'm still trying to figure out which one is which, but right, you have to ring them now. Okay, switching. If you look to your sides, left and right, you see the radio panel with all the little buttons.
Yeah, so you got your usual stuff.
Exactly, so we've got quite a few radios. We've got 2 VHF radios, 2 UHF radios. We've got a Tetra radio, which is encrypted, which is what we use with the UK Rescue Centre to pass on details of the casualty and location and all that. And then we've got a satellite phone there and a public announcer, which is basically an intercom system in the back.
Yeah.
If we're doing winching, then the non-handling pilot, which tends to be me in the left-hand seat, I get control of all the radios. Tends to be about 3 to 4 radios at one time, sometimes 5. And it's like, who is that? Sorry, who is this? Yeah. Trying to change the volume to figure out which one is talking.
Yeah.
And try to get as much of the message you can, then talk back to them.
Couldn't be small doing this, could you really?
You can move the seat forward.
Oh, okay, that's okay.
Yeah, you can be reasonably short, or tall, for that matter.
Yeah.
There's a few remaining panels down here. You've got your landing gear there. It's just up and down with the lights that come with it. In case it doesn't work, we've got the emergency down position switch to activate it. Just literally just dump it. In the center, version control panel. That is because the aircraft is made up of 2 of each. So you've got 2 flight computers, 2 data computers, 2 of everything. Aside from the FMS, there's only 1. But in case one decides to not play game anymore, the other one goes, well, hold on, my friend has just freaked out. We can say, okay, so depending which one fails, either my screens or the other pilot's screens will go, had enough, and just turn blank. So in order to get the indications back, we can switch so that basically we're seeing everything on the screen is from one computer instead of either independent. So that's what that's for. The float arming panel, in case we want to arm the float, so we're not able to just fire them off, we have to arm them first.
Yeah.
And on either side is the we've got tons of bugs that we can set, like height hold, but also warning bugs. So if we go to a certain altitude, it will give you. So that's what we can change here, but also the barrow settings, QNH and all that. And then with these 2, we can change what needles we want to indicate on the screens.
Got you.
That's for the CDI needle, which we can change with that. The flight director computer panel, so this way we can, it's always on, but in case there are problems with it, we can change systems around. The radar control panels. So in the front of the nose there's a massive weather radar, which we can display on the screens to find targets, boats, but also just to find weather. And we can fine tune them with these ones. That one is to control the center screen, the map and all that. Satellite phone, VHF radio. We use that for Coastguard contact. Fairly low level, for instance, we can't do on that. Fuel panel, this is all for refueling. Yeah. And then the flight management system, which does the bulk of the computing work. And then back here is HF radio, we also have. And some training switches, which we're not really allowed to, well, we're not allowed to use it unless you fly with a trainer. So it's to simulate you've got a single engine failure. Right. Basically what the aircraft does, it tells the computer, oh, you've lost an engine. And then the other engine will increase in performance to simulate you've lost it. Yeah. That's all it does. Right, okay. Then on the controls you see lots of buttons and switches. So the top right red button, I'll point him out on that so you can see with the camera, that one. It's the cargo hook release. in the old days, and when we took over the contract, they were like, well, okay, we need a cargo hook because the RAF sling load a lot of stuff. And we're like, well, we don't.
Yeah.
So they have all been removed, so that button is useless. Hoist shear, flip it up, and then you'll see a red button underneath it. That's the one we push to then eject or to cut the cable and say bye-bye to our winchman. That's good knowing you.
Yeah.
This is the hoist control, so to control up and down, that one moves the winch. That's the trim switch, so we push in the direction we want to fine-tune the trim. The big red button here is the trim release button, so because there's heavy force, it will go back to the position it was in. But if you push it, you can set it in a certain position, it will maintain that, and then you can fine-tune it with the little thumb button. That one is the audio cancel button. So in case the machine starts crying at you for like, oh, this or that and the other, you can just say shut up.
Right.
And that's good. Unfortunately, it doesn't work with the rear crew.
Right.
We do, however, have an isolate button on the radios, so we can just cut them off.
Oh, that's good.
And then the other small red button is to cancel the autopilot. It just throws everything out. The grey one is the go around button. So that then sets the aircraft in a climb 750 feet a minute, 80 knots wings level. And off you go.
Very good.
And then the one behind it, which is normally your trigger finger, your shooter finger, is actually for the intercom system. So we also have the foot panels. So in the corner of either side, you've got a little slanted panel with a silver button on it, so next to your right foot, your left foot in the corner there. Pushing that is what we normally use to talk on the radios. So that's the same thing. But sometimes when you're busy flying, you just squeeze the trigger.
Very nice.
That's pretty much it. So then we've got collective. For those that don't know, helicopters, that makes you go up and down in a very basic form. And then the cyclic we just pointed out does direction. And then the yaw pedals make you turn you around the tail. On here we've got same as the other one. You've got a trigger. That is the actual trim release. So it allows you to move it up and down without going back to its old position. You can have fine tune it with this one. So it's for to fine tune the collective, but also the paddles. So you can turn around it using that. Above 50 knots, it actually allows you to set a certain roll degree.
Got you.
That's the OEI select. So if we do lose an engine, we can control the other one. It gives us 30 seconds maximum power, so it goes to as much as it can give. Then after 30 seconds, we have to downshift, which then sets a lower rate, which then hopefully will maintain the engine and gearbox for a little bit longer. We've got these slew lights, searchlight. Each pilot underneath us, there's a small light that we can use to zoom around. And that's for the searchlight to be on, off, or stowed. And then the emergency float buttons underneath that.
Pretty good.
And then this is the parking brake, which we use outside. We have to wait for the maintenance computer fail caption to clear. What it's doing is running through a test.
Doing a bit test,
So it's making sure that the fire protection, all that works, especially for the APU. I'm not using it now, but we still have to do the test. Takes about half a minute. So normally what we do in case we get a shout, because that always has to do it, turn on the battery, then jump in, get strapped in. Right, there we go.
Yeah.
So it'll take 2-minute cool down, and then
Right.
we'll shut it down in the front. The APU will keep running, so the high pitch noise is what
Yeah.
what they'll do is they'll refuel it, then shut it down. Actually, it'll keep the APU running, sorry. Plug this in, and then they have to do a 5-minute dry run off.
Right.
And then it's only for 10 minutes. At that point, they'll say,
Yeah, that's it.